morning. Good morning. We really want to thank everybody for inviting us to spend the next 5 or so minutes to talk a little bit about us and what we're working on and the future that's ahead of us. Scott's speech and Michelle's speech really resonated with us and our strategies, and we'd like to share some of those with you. A little bit about us. We kind of began close to when the base began in 1947, about 73 years. I think we're one of the many IWV success stories. I've been a member of the credit union since I was the age of 5. We've been known by many, many names: the NWC Federal Credit Union, NWC Community Credit Union, and we've grown over 650 million strong. We are in 11 locations throughout the Eastern Sierra corridor, and we cover about 400-mile radius all the way from the North LA border to the Nevada border. Many of you probably don't know that. We also are involved in 7 different economies, and also we have reached the digital age and have 4 digital locations. We are really kind of on the move in the Eastern Sierra region for sure. So let's talk a little bit about our industry in general, and then we'll talk a little bit about what we're doing. The credit union industry, many of you probably know some about it and maybe don't know a lot about it, but the credit unions actually in 2019 outperformed the community retail banks. We saw that nationally, actually credit unions were able to provide more than 10% more of the mortgage loans that were actually out in production last year. So the national credit union mortgage loans rose by 9.3%. And then also, as far as individual loans, or what we call consumer loans, that's the automobile loans and private loans, national credit unions lent out more than 6.5%. We also saw that some households the debt was rising a little bit, and we monitor that on a monthly basis. But these are key economic statistics that we track on a monthly basis and a quarterly basis and report on. So what is the new landscape that we're all living in, and you all know this, is that it's a new day. And a lot of traditional banking is starting to evolve away from what we might be comfortable with into new ways. So now as a credit union, a financial institution, we have to be available anytime, anywhere, with any device. So what we're starting to see is actually huge competition today from non-traditional financial institutions like the fintechs, the SoFis, Mint, etc., that are not financial institutions that actually provide services as well virtually through devices. So, and with that, there's a huge competition for technology talent. So as you can imagine, as an organization, when you're trying to evolve yourself and grow, there's a huge market now for technology talent within the financial services industry. Because we all need to get to this point, because we all have the luxury of not having as much time anymore in our lives. So there's an increase for convenience, but with that convenience goes risks. And of course, we also, as you all know, we also have to manage toward increased regulation. But with that, we see a huge opportunity of being nimble, being innovative, and trying new things. And so while recently we have lost some of our talent to the base, we've actually found that as an opportunity to rebuild ourselves in innovative ways. Some of the risks to financial institutions that we have been dealing with recently and continue to deal with is around cybercrime. We've seen an increase in fraud through digital technology, and a new type of risk called synthetic ID theft. And what that is where the fraudsters actually create identities from different types of information that they get through social media or even through public records and that kind of thing, where they artificially create an ID, and then they're opening accounts at banks, credit unions, etc., and all of a sudden that person doesn't exist, so who do you go after? So it's been a very interesting time in our industry, but and also with economic threats that we all read about on a day-to-day basis, and with like I've covered with the non-traditional and the competition for talent. But with all of this, we're kind of excited about the future, and we look at this and we said, what is this really telling us? Where do we need to be as a credit union? We've been around for 73 years, so what's the next step for us? And so we really went back, and we've worked very hard with our board of directors, members, and also our staff and our new management, and we've been talking about how do we create value? Where does that come from? And as leaders and business owners, we all know we can't always continue doing it the same way. We have to be willing to evolve ourselves and redefine ourselves and be courageous. So that's what we've really done. So our focus today is really going back to our roots, going back to our sense of purpose. What made us successful over 73 years? What was that? What was the magic, the secret sauce? And for us, what it was really understanding the communities and understanding the area from which we got our start and building on that. So we've returned back to our roots big time. I think over the last 2 to 3 years, you've seen that we've gotten a lot more involved in community, in charity, and in being part of this great valley. And the other part of that is really cultivating that sense of purpose of who we are. Getting up in the morning, cultivating a DNA of purpose, service. And the service isn't just the day-to-day transactions in the branch. The service is the service to our members, the service to our community. But more than that, we've noticed that really our focus has to be about making sure that our members and our community are focused on financial wellness. If we understand and we know how to manage our finances and we're planning for the future, then we can all contribute to a healthier community. And so with that, we've really turned around to different types of programs where we've been working with community partners. For example, we've been working with Ridgecrest Regional Hospital in partnership with their wellness programs. We've been giving seminars and talks to numerous employers about what is top of mind with your employees, what are they worried about, what keeps them up at night. We've given them surveys, and under the leadership of Beverly Wagner, who has been key in this effort, we have found that top of mind of your employees has been, what keeps them up is maybe not being able to afford their dreams, not being able to afford their goals, maybe not having enough money for the emergency. We talked about the earthquake, we talked about things that happened in our community this last year, and we found that that was really top of mind. So AltaOne really has gone to work on that, and we're starting to really have an outreach program to all the key employers within the 7 different communities that we do business. We have a dialogue going in our other communities. What's going on? What are your strategies? What's top of mind with your community citizens? And how can we help? How can we partner with you? So it's being that resource, and we've also have part of our strategies developing the next generation of savers. So here you'll see this nice young man with Seymour. Basically, we've been reaching out to children. We've been reaching out to teens about financial education, and working with Sierra Sands, reaching out to Tehachapi School District, reaching out to Bishop. Wherever we are key with regional hospitals and the school districts to find out, how can we help What can we do? And let's work together. So the dialogue between AltaOne in its 7 communities has really elevated over the last year for sure. And also corporate governance and being safe. And I think you recently saw the article in the Daily Independent with our wonderful board. They take their job very seriously as well. And so it's all about being effective, being an educator, and being a partner. So with that, we've really, over the last couple of years, we've had a renaissance and a real evolution at AltaOne around the power of community and how it is so important to come together and not just sit at the branch and hope for the business. We need to be part of the solution. We need to be part of the partnership in understanding more. And that is really in the DNA and the heart now of our staff and our new management, and certainly of our board. So I'm going to answer Scott and say, yes, we believe we should keep the dialogue going. We have that dialogue going in 6 of our communities now, where what we have formed has been a business summit, where we get together with community leaders, community employers, and we talk about the future, we talk about what's going on, and how do we work together. Because what we've learned is that some strategies might impact others. And so through more sharing and more learning, we can actually be that community partner. So I'll close with this. Over the past years, through all the name changes and everything, AltaOne thought that their mission was to help their members to reach new heights. We looked at that and we said, what does that really mean? And I will tell you, since the earthquake, we really have taken this personally. And we came back together as a team, as a management group, as a board, and we said, you know what? Our goal and our role is not necessarily that. Our role is really to be your community partner. So we have changed our entire culture and our entire mission toward being that. So I want to thank you today for inviting us. We're glad to be here. You're going to see us around a lot more. And please, let's keep the dialogue going and let's get something planned. So thank you very much for letting me.